welcome back. Welcome back to Barbara Lee at A View From Here 64. It's great to see you here. And for those that have been viewing my videos, I greatly appreciate it. Thank you so much. If the content is what you find interesting and feel that it's worthwhile sharing, please do so. As I said, eventually I'll get better at this. But for now, this is the camera I've got and this is how I'm working. So I'm not going to give up on myself. I'm going to continue on. And I wanted to speak today about loneliness as we're aging and what does that mean for you, because isolation can be a big thing as we get older. And it was interesting over the weekend having a chat to one of my sons about I think it's a Netflix documentary going around about the healthiest people in the world and the longevity of those people in the world and where they're from. One of them was Italy, and we were just talking because my boys have Italian blood running through them. They're very passionate about Italy. They love the food and the culture. And they were saying how that community was one of the things why these old people lived to the age they did. And they got longevity well into like their 90s. That's men and women. And we don't find that much in Australia. You know, it's more women that live longer and not always a good, healthy life as they age. And I'm not saying that people in Australia don't love their family. Of course they do. But their family values are slightly different from the Mediterranean, the European style of living. And that is that they leave their elderly on their own a lot. I'm talking majority, I'm not talking everyone. So please don't be offended. It's not what I'm trying to say here. What I'm trying to say is that community is important. Building friendships. If it's your family that you're not close to or you don't have that connection, some people are estranged from their families, build a community that is like family. Now, a lot of men in particular got that through their workplace, but once they retire, those friendships don't continue on. So you find that men can feel very isolated. They're all of a sudden at home with their wife, which may be lovely, but not really, because the wife's more than likely got her life established if she's been a homekeeper or work part-time. She might have already established friendships. When I observe and listen to elderly people, even where I work, a lot of the women play tennis or they meet for coffees twice a week with a group of women. They might be in a gardening group, a walking group, they go to the library, they meet up with people. Men, if they've been work focused, will have their mates at work. So they've got their social life during the day. So when they retire, it can really upset their equilibrium and they can feel lonely. You hear of men getting sick once they're retired, they become unwell. Unfortunately, statistics even show that they pass away not long after retirement because they've lost their purpose. And isn't that what loneliness is? In a way, it's like, well, who am I in this world now? I don't work. I've lost my friendship group. What do I do? I don't want to take up golf. I don't want to be that person that goes part-time at Bunnings or some other big establishment. So they're feeling lost. And in that lostness is loneliness. So community is really important. Now, some people move to retirement villages and they're having a ball, what they call them now, lifestyle villages, or lifestyle retirement. They're villages, aren't they? And they're loving it. I hear some great stories about those people moving. They've really got into the community. They've got in and become president of some club or secretary of some club, treasurer. They're really getting involved, and they're the ones that have started and off again in life. They've start their life into a new phase. And I say this because if your life has changed like mine did, really in a way unexpectedly, and that could be my own fault that it was unexpected because I didn't want it to change. I really had this intention to be with this man for the rest of my life, He was what I thought was the love of my life. Foolishly or otherwise, that's what I did. So my whole plan of my elderly life was that we were going to end up sharing our lives together in our old age and be looking out for each other. Now, of course, that's not going to happen. Not with him, that's 100% for sure. But my life changed. So I've had to review everything I thought that was going to happen. It's not happening. And I did go through a very, very lonely stage. And I don't remember the last time I felt lonely. Maybe when I was 16, and you feel a bit isolated from your friendship group, or at least I did. It lasted maybe 2 months. This was a very heavy loneliness. It did last probably again for about 2 months. But gee, I felt lonely. And I'm going to work every day. I'm surrounded by people. I'm on the phone with friends all the time and family. I'm not really alone, but the loneliness was a killer. It really took its toll. I did a lot of crying, a lot of feeling sorry for myself, and a really, really, really hard look at myself. What is loneliness? What is being alone? Being alone can be a choice. We can choose solitary life. We can choose to just be alone. But if we're hiding away from the world because of things that we've done, the shame we feel, we're not getting along with people, we don't like the way we look, we might be in full health, what is it that you need to do for yourself to take control of your life again? And that was a very, very important question for me. Why am I feeling so alone? What have I created in my life? And I know for myself, I had discovered very quickly that I put every bit of my being into the relationship with this man. I was spreading myself a bit thin even in that because I love my family so much and I travelled to see them quite a bit. But it was always with thought about him and his needs and what he needed. So I really lost myself. I had lost my own purpose within a relationship. And that was the key to my loneliness, was here am I'm not giving all my substance to this man, to his life and supporting him. It was, and changing my way of living to suit him. I was now with me. I was now just myself, my design, and what do I want. And I hadn't felt that before. And I knew this time I wasn't going back. And maybe in the past, even though we'd had separations, I don't think I ever really let him go. But this time was the no going back zone. It had something in me had changed and I wanted my life back. I wanted me back. So I really believe that lonely time that I went through was part of my grieving process as well. The grieving of the life I thought I was going to have, the person I thought I was going to spend the rest of my life with was out of the picture, and it was me. Now, I've got a great supportive family and great supportive friends around me, so don't get me wrong, I'm not alone a lot, but that loneliness was mine and I had to own it. So I looked for a way of creating something new for myself and finding out me. Now, I know I've spoken to this about this on other videos, so it's going over it because that conversation about community and how much that made those elderly people have these wonderful lives, longevity, is because they had a purpose. Now, a lot of Italian women particularly love to cook. So they might spend a whole Sunday cooking pasta from scratch, preparing a family meal, and that keeps them going strong. They might be walking up and down stairs all the time. So they've got that longevity as well in their fitness because there's stairs everywhere in Italy, especially in the old towns, and they're going up laneways and going to visit friends that live close. Everybody's in close proximity, not in cities. Cities are different, but in villages. And the doors are always open. It's a different lifestyle than Australia. You know what we're like. We're just like, I hope they ring first. You don't drop in on people. It's very rare that people drop in without an invitation because It's normally not a thing that we do. It's not our style of living. It's not our culture. But it can lead to a very lonely old age. Now, I'm 64. I don't really consider myself old, but I know I'm aging. So the things I changed was my fitness. I had to get fit or fitter. I'm still working. That's a work in progress, and I'm not going to give up on that. So I do my 15-minute regime every morning. I'm lying. When I'm in Melbourne, I don't do it. When I'm visiting friends or I've got a friend coming to stay with me tonight, I won't do it. But it's a majority of my time. I fit in 15 minutes in the morning. I have my routine. I'm very conscious of my thoughts. I pray a lot, and my prayer is always one of gratitude, and I really do feel grateful for the life I'm having. And I pray a lot for strength and courage to be the best version of myself, to be a better person all the time, because I want to be that for others around me. I'm not doing it for my selfish needs. I want to be able to do that for others as well, to give them a place to come, to talk, to share their needs, to know that I can listen and hopefully guide them through some stages in their lives that are being difficult for them. And I do feel that as we get older, if we haven't connected with our families or we've let go of things that brought us great pleasure, we may not have something to lean on. And for me, I can lean into God and Jesus, and that's my faith, and that makes me very secure in life. But I only found that out through my loneliness as well, through that couple of months of really, and I will call it suffering. It was really traumatic for me. So when I found what I could do for myself, that took me out of the loneliness and gave me strength to carry on. That's what I look to. It is important to build community. I've found that difficult in this town where I'm living, and maybe consciously too, and I know I've been conscious about it, I've not wanted to create too many tight friendships because I'm not staying. And I knew that when I arrived after the first 3 weeks. I knew this wasn't my town. I'm going back to be closer to my family, which is all in the making as we speak. So by the end of the year, I will have packed my bags and my things and moved. And so that's part of what I've chosen to do. But it wasn't that sort of loneliness. It was a deep core loneliness. It was that despair of not knowing myself. It wasn't filling my life with people. It was filling my life with myself. Who am I? What am I going to do now? What am I going to do? All my dreams, all my hopes, all my future activities were with him in this place that we called the farm. That's where my life was going to be. So all that had changed. You know, when they say pull the rug from under your feet, that's it. And I believe it was the shock of it. It came quickly to me. It was a realisation, been probably happening for a long, long time. But my realisation and what I accepted, finally when I accepted it, was very quick. So that loneliness was to the core. Who are you, Barb, and what do you want? You know, where are your loves? Where are your priorities? And what's really your perspective on your life? Not what other people are wanting for me or choosing for me, but me. What do I love? What do I want to do? And to fill myself up with purpose again. Barbara purpose. And this is one of them. I get such joy out of doing these videos and sharing this time with people, no matter how little or big. But it is an important message for me to get out to people. You're in your 60s, life has changed. For me, I'm not looking for a mate. I'm not, and look, if that happens in the future, we'll see. We'll talk about it then. And if that changes within me that I'm looking for a mate, we'll talk about it then. But in the present time, I'm really just concentrating on me. I'm giving more love and care to my family, which fills my heart with warmth. I've got the most amazing grandchildren and amazing children and amazing daughter-in-laws, sisters. I've said all this before. I can't say it enough. I'm really grateful for the people in my life. but they can't fill that void for me. That's not fair to put that on them. Yes, community is wonderful and I love getting together, but I don't want to put that on them that they feel obligated to fill a lonely gap in me. So I have to fill that. I have to fill that for myself. So it's a lot about purpose. I've been considering a lot over the last week and a half. So it's only a short time to run some relaxation classes once I move back to Melbourne, which is going to be something that I really love. I used to love taking meditation classes. Unfortunately, got a bit woo-woo and I want to stay away from that. I'm not into the new age card reading, spiritual stuff. So I backed right away from meditation, but relaxation classes would be a wonderful way of serving the public and those people that don't want to meditate, who find that already that word conjures up, keeping this still mind, it's impossible, I can't do it. And I've heard that so many times over my years of teaching meditation and sharing classes. So I want to stay away from that. Bring in relaxation classes for everybody. So males, females, all ages. And so that's really been on my mind. And I thought, well, that's great. I'm feeling like I want to work with people again. This is also what I consider working with people, is sharing my knowledge, sharing my story and giving hope to others, because there is hope and we don't have to close doors and then not open another. We close a door and another one opens. And we've got to know that and we've got to trust that and have faith. For me, I've got faith in God and Jesus, but that's not everybody's thing, but have faith in yourself too. No use for me having faith in God and Jesus if I haven't got any in myself. I'm the one who has to listen back and say, yes, I'm putting myself out there. So I have to have that faith in myself. I have to believe in my character. I have to know that I am forever aiming and striving to be a better version of myself. It's no good just sitting back on my laurels and saying, well, this is it, I've done everything I can. And why not take that well into your old age? Why not take that into your 80s or 90s? Why do you stop growing as a person just because you're getting older? And never stop giving to others. And I don't need, material things. I mean giving of your heart, giving time, giving a good ear, listen to people, share, rub them, It must be hard for you. That's really sad. I feel sad for you. I'm here if you need me. Don't close off to people. And this thing that we call our faces, we wrinkle and age, it is what we're going to do. Don't hide yourself because you're aging. Don't hide away because you're not as pretty as you used to be. You're not as handsome. You've got grey hair, or you're balding, or this or that, or you've put on weight, We've got so many reasons we stop caring for ourselves and stop putting in an effort or stop mixing with people because we don't like the way we look. Stop it. If you don't like the way you look, make some changes. If you've put on weight and that really is a burden to you, get moving. If your body's sore, exercise in a chair. There is no excuse, do you know that, for not moving? Because I can sit in the chair and move my body. There's chair yoga, there's chair exercises all over YouTube, all through Google. You just have to look. Instagram, social media is full of the stuff. But it is a good process as we're aging to keep moving so that we can walk around the street, we can go up and down. I watch the elderly around the town I live, and it's wonderful watching them walk down the street and stopping and chatting to other people. They might just walk down and buy their milk or a newspaper, but it gives them an opportunity to see other people and say hello. So being agile, keeping our fitness up, taking care of yourself is an important factor into feeling good about yourself. What you eat, how you're sleeping, what you're drinking. You don't have to give up everything, but keep a balance in your life. If you find that you're drinking more alcohol because you're socialising more, do more walking. Make sure you get a good sleep. Drink a lot of water, flush it through your system. hot lemon drinks in the morning, half a lemon squeezed in warm water first thing in the morning is a really good liver cleanser. Having a teaspoon of honey in that is also really good for the lungs and the throat. It's great for the gut. There's so many good tools that we can use to keep longevity, to keep loneliness at bay. We might have times when we feel lonely. What I'm asking is that get your little package together of what serves you when you're lonely. How do you get out of your loneliness? And I don't mean escaping into the TV either. And that's not bad, gee, I don't mind it myself on a Sunday afternoon, putting something on TV and watching a movie. It's not a bad thing, but if we're escaping into it because we're lonely and we can't be bothered to take care of this thing, our bodies, our mind, our spirit, and get out of that, we're going to have a very lonely existence. We have to change that for ourselves. So I hope these tools help a little bit. And if you are feeling lonely, you can reach out, send me a message. I haven't had anyone send me a message yet, and it'd be really nice to have some feedback. As I've asked before, feedback is wonderful, criticism is accepted, just be kind, yeah? No need for rudeness or being unkind. But if it's good criticism and something you feel I can do better for this channel, please share that with me. If it's something you want to discuss, let me know. I can always send you my email address if it's not on YouTube. I'm not sure if it is or not. You can email me and we can have a bit of a chat that way too. But loneliness is not great for everyone. So please take care of yourself. I'll be here again next week and I look forward to seeing you. Stumbling with my words today with this new tooth out. But please take care. Lots of love. See you soon. Bye for now.